All right, so we're diving deep today
Mm-hmm.
into a book called I Am David
Okay.
by Anne Holm.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
this book, it's about this young boy, David,
Right.
and he escapes from a concentration camp,
Wow.
and then he journeys across Europe.
I see.
But,
Heavy stuff.
yeah, it's not just an adventure story, though, right?
Right, right.
Like, he's looking for safety,
That's
obviously,
source, yeah.
but he's also looking for answers
Makes sense.
about his past,
Mm.
which he doesn't remember,
Oh, wow.
like, at all.
So like a blank slate almost?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's going to be tough.
I know. Can you imagine, like,
It's hard to even...
no memory of family or home or
Yeah.
anything before, like,
Yeah.
this horrible experience?
Really makes you think, huh?
Yeah, like, what would that even do to a person?
Psychologically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. Like,
Right.
how would you even...
Form an identity.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
who are you in that situation?
Right.
So, okay, his escape from the camp,
Yeah.
it's not like,
Some big dramatic thing.
no,
Right.
not at all.
Okay.
It's more like he just sees an opportunity.
Seizes the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of luck involved, I imagine.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And he uses his wits.
Smart kid.
He has to be.
To survive something like that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he slips through the cracks, basically.
Wow.
And it just makes you think, like,
Ah.
what would you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Like, what little chance would you cling to
I don't even know.
to get out?
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Mirror.
But then
Yeah.
that kind of sets the tone for the whole book
In what way?
because, like, he's constantly having to
Adapt.
learn new things
Figure things out.
on the fly.
Yeah, like imagine not even knowing what money is
Oh, wow. Yeah.
or how to ask for directions
hmm
in a language you don't understand.
You're just completely lost.
Totally lost.
Wow.
And that's David's reality. That's intense.
Yeah. So every step he takes,
Yeah,
it's a test,
definitely.
not just of his physical endurance.
Right, right.
But like his ability to just figure out the world.
Understand everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's the people he meets along the way.
Okay. Yeah. The people
Some of them are good.
offer help.
Yeah, they give him food,
Right.
maybe a place to sleep.
Shelter?
Yeah. But some of them,
Not so much.
no, they're suspicious.
Don't trust him.
Yeah. Or worse.
Could be dangerous.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just shows
That.
that even in like the worst situations,
Yeah.
there's good and bad people
Always. Yeah.
everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So this brings up a good point.
What's that?
Trust.
Oh, yeah.
How does he know who to trust?
That's a great question.
Right.
Like he doesn't have...
The experience
No.
to be able to tell
Yeah.
who's good, who's bad.
So he has to develop this like,
Instinct
yeah, like a sense of judgment.
to survive.
Yeah. It's incredible.
He's a remarkable kid
He is.
in this story.
And you see it, right?
In what way?
Like when he's interacting with people,
Okay.
he's always watching them.
Observing, analyzing.
Yeah, like their actions,
Mm-hmm.
their facial expression.
Starting to read them.
Yeah. It's like he's become this,
Detective almost.
yeah, figuring out how the world works.
Solving this puzzle.
Exactly.
Wow.
And he has to be resourceful too.
With like limited resources.
Yeah, he doesn't have much.
Right.
Just a few possessions.
So he has to think outside the box?
He does.
Yeah.
Like he learns to barter.
Really?
Yeah. And he learns to problem solve.
Wow. Impressive.
Right.
Very impressive.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And through all of this,
Yeah.
he's dealing with this huge question.
This is
Like, who is he?
identity.
Exactly.
Right.
Where does he belong?
Yeah.
Like, each person he meets,
Every challenge
each challenge,
is a piece of that puzzle.
it is,
That makes sense.
and it's sad sometimes,
Heartbreaking
Yeah.
to see him struggling.
but it's also inspiring
It is.
because he never gives up.
He keeps going.
Yeah.
That's great.
He never gives up on finding a place.
Sense of belonging.
Yeah. Like a place where he belongs.
Right. We all want that.
I think so. Yeah.
Connection.
Yeah.
Something we all crave,
I think so.
even if our circumstances are totally different.
Totally.
You know?
It's still relatable.
It is.
And, you know, if we think about the bigger picture here,
Okay.
David's story,
Yeah.
it reflects the experience of refugees.
Throughout history.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
It's like all the
The
uncertainty.
constant adaptation.
Yeah, the constant need to adapt.
Finding somewhere safe.
Yeah, searching for a safe haven.
Right.
Like, those themes are in so many people's lives.
Sadly. Yeah.
Sadly, yeah.
Throughout history.
So,
So what can we take away from this?
well, I think it's a reminder that even when things are really hard,
Unimaginably hard.
yeah, the human spirit
Which is true.
can endure. Yeah,
It can get through a lot.
it can.
Yeah.
And I think it's a call for empathy, too.
To help others.
Yeah, like to understand the struggles.
Of those who are forced from their homes.
Yes.
Looking for refuge.
Exactly.
It's an important message.
It is.
And I think it also leaves us with a question.
Okay.
Like a final thought.
What's that?
What if we were in David's shoes?
Oh, wow.
Walking in his world?
Yeah.
Would we have that strength?
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah, that resilience.
Could we handle that?
I don't know.
It's a powerful question to think about.
It is.
And I Am David
Yeah.
gives us a way to explore that question.
Yeah, it does.
It's a great book.
It is definitely worth a read.
I think so, too.
Yeah, I think that's about it for our deep dive today.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive. All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
It's great to be back.
You know, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
Today, we are talking about the 2003 film, I Am David.
Okay.
This one's based on a book by Anne Holm
Mm-hmm.
from way back in 1963.
Okay.
And it's directed by Paul Feig,
Right?
which, most people know from his comedies like Bridesmaids or Freaks and Geeks.
That's interesting.
But this is a kind of a departure for him.
It seems like it,
Yeah, this is a much more dramatic film.
Okay.
And it's about this 12-year-old boy
Mm-hmm.
named David who escapes from a concentration camp in Bulgaria.
Wow.
And he's trying to get to Denmark.
Okay.
So it's kind of a historical adventure film.
Oh, wow. That is interesting.
Yeah, he's going across post-World War II Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to find his family.
Okay.
So it's kind of a mystery, too.
A lot going on there.
Yeah, a lot of different elements at play.
Definitely.
So I guess let's start with
Yeah.
David's escape from the concentration camp.
Right.
From what I was reading, this was not an easy feat.
Of course not.
I mean, this wasn't just like,
Yeah.
sneaking out after curfew or something.
Right.
This kid had to use his wits and his size
Oh, wow.
to, like, slip through shadows.
Mm-hmm.
He was, like, memorizing guard routines.
Goodness.
It was like a real, like,
Yeah.
cunning born from desperation.
It's incredible to think about.
It is. It's
Just strength of this
yeah.
12-year-old boy.
it's heartbreaking to think about what he must have been through.
Oh, absolutely.
Just the trauma and the fear
Yeah.
and probably the loss he must have witnessed.
It makes you wonder
Yeah.
how he even managed to escape mentally, let alone physically.
Right.
And
then on top of that, he has to make this journey across war-torn Europe.
Yeah, this isn't just a simple road trip.
No, it's
This is 1945.
yeah,
Europe is a mess.
yeah. Bombed out cities,
Mhm.
displaced people, suspicion everywhere.
Yeah, it's a dangerous and confusing landscape, especially for a child alone.
I mean, imagine
Yeah,
trying to communicate when you don't speak the language,
right.
having to rely on the kindness of strangers.
Who may not even be so kind.
Right?
They could have their own traumas
Exactly.
and reasons for distrust.
So it's like another layer of tension on top of everything else.
Oh, definitely.
And then, like, through it all, he's still holding on to this hope
Yeah.
that his family is out there.
He's searching for them.
Yeah, he has this, like, primal need for connection.
It's such a human thing.
Yeah.
To want to belong.
It's something we can all relate to.
I think so.
And I guess that's kind of what makes the story so powerful,
It definitely adds to it.
even all these years later.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's interesting because
Yeah.
when this movie came out, it didn't do very well.
Really?
Yeah, like the box office numbers were pretty low.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I was kind of wondering about that.
I mean, it's a compelling story.
It is.
And you've got Paul Feig directing. Maybe it was just bad timing?
Maybe.
Or maybe the marketing wasn't good.
Yeah, maybe people didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, Paul Feig doing a serious drama.
It is kind of a departure for him.
It makes you wonder if he brought any of his comedic sensibilities to the film.
Right.
And if that clashed with what audiences were anticipating.
I did read that he used a lot of handheld camera work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to, like, make it feel more immediate
Interesting.
and dangerous.
Okay.
And, like, the color palette was really muted,
Huh.
so it kind of reflected the bleakness of post-war Europe,
No.
but also, like, mirrored David's emotional state.
That's a cool detail.
Yeah, it sounds like he really put some thought into it.
Definitely.
So maybe it's a movie that deserves a second look.
It might be.
With your love of film.
Yeah.
You might see something in it that others missed.
It's possible.
Because it really is a story about survival
Mm-hmm.
and resilience.
And hope.
Yeah,
Those are themes that are always relevant,
absolutely.
maybe even more so today.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's fascinating to think about.
So we've talked about the historical context
Yeah.
and the emotional depth of the story.
And even Paul Feig's directing.
Yeah?
It's been a good deep dive.
It
I
has.
learned a lot.
But now we want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
Do you think this movie, I Am David, would resonate with audiences today?
Hmm.
You know, in a world that's maybe more attuned to its message.
It's a good question.
So we encourage you to check it out
Yeah.
and see for yourself.
I think I will.
Yeah, it might be a hidden gem.
Maybe.
A story that speaks to the power of the human spirit.
Even in the darkest of times.
Exactly.
Well, this has been great.
Thanks for joining me for another deep dive.
I'll see you next time.
See ya.